Hey everyone, it's time for another session of Fenty Beauty University. I'm Priscilla Ono, global makeup artist here at Fenty Beauty, and I'm going to show you some pro tips for taking your Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation to the next level. We took to social to ask you for your most pressing questions about foundation. I'll answer those. So let's get right into it. One thing I love most about the Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation is that it's so easy to use. It applies effortlessly. It's for everyone. First things first, I am going to moisturize Sierra's skin. I'm going to be using Hydrovisor, which provides moisture and SPF. And you're going to see that it just really melts into the skin and it goes invisible, which I love. Now I'm going to go in with the Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer, and I'm going to use a full body foundation brush to apply this. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to smooth it over the nose area. I feel like this is the area that usually has a bit of a larger pore. So by ensuring that this area is fully coated, you're going to get the smoothest application in your foundation. I love to use primer before the foundation application because it blurs the pores, it extends the wear of your foundation, and your foundation looks even more flawless. Now I'm going to be taking the Pro Filter Soft Matte Long Wear Foundation in the color 410, Sierra's perfect shade. For medium coverage, we're going to start with just one pump. I'm going to be using a damp sponge. Now remember, a little goes a long way, so you really just want to start with one pump. I usually just like to apply it all over the face, starting from the outside in, and really focusing most of the product on the inner part of the face. That's usually where you need more coverage. So I'm just stippling the foundation on right now, and this really helps so that your foundation goes on really smooth, blended. The thing I love about this foundation the most is that it applies effortlessly and it gives you undetectable coverage. And look at it, it's light as air. So some of you asked how you can get a sweat-proof base. Well, actually, Pro Filter is long wear and sweat resistant. And this is what a medium coverage would look like. Now Sierra wants more full coverage, so I'm going to go ahead and add one more pump. I'm going to go in with a full body foundation brush for more coverage. I love using this brush when you want to build up coverage because it's going to give you the best application. The bristles are nice and dense, so you're going to get a lot more coverage out of it. I'm going to build up the product by tapping it on and then use the bristles to just buff it in so that it blends in seamlessly. Another question from social is how to choose your perfect foundation shade if you have hyperpigmentation or dark spots. Choose a color that's 2 shades deeper to really balance out the color. Sometimes if you use the exact shade of your actual skin tone, the darker areas can look a little gray or ashy. So by using a deeper shade, you're going to neutralize them and it's going to blend in so much nicer. You can find your shade virtually at fentybeauty.com. We also have virtual shade matching consultation with pros. They can help you find your desired shade. Someone on social mentioned that applying too much foundation around the nose can look a little cakey, and they want to know how to prevent this from happening. I think the best thing that you can do is to not forget to moisturize and apply primer around the nose. That's key, especially because around the nose area you have bigger pores and more texture. Now I'm going to go in with the Pro Filter Instant Retouch Concealer in the color 380. The reason why I chose 380 is because Sierra is 410 in foundation, and this is the perfect brightening and concealing shade. So I'm just going to take a little bit on the wand and I'm just going to dot it, just 2 little dots right on the inner corner of the eye. This is the area that I want to brighten up the most. And I'm just going to do a tiny little swipe at the very end of her eyes here. This is to really just help lift the eye area. I'm going to take the concealer brush and I am just going to blend this in. I like to do more of a tapping motion because it's going to give you more coverage this way. Sometimes when you buff around too much, you're going to actually disturb some of that foundation that's underneath and you're going to get splotchiness. So by patting it on and stippling it on, you're actually just patting the product right on top of the foundation and on the skin, and you're going to get this really smooth layer. Now when I do the end of the eye, I really want this really pretty, almost like a lifting effect on the end of the eye. So I'm just going to swipe it upward in the direction that I applied it. This is just going to help brighten but also lift up the eye area and the cheekbone area. Now a myth that people have is that you need to apply your concealer on your texture areas to give more coverage to those areas. I really like to focus the concealer more so for the under eye area and to brighten any areas on the face. Sometimes I use it on the forehead, the bridge of the nose, the chin, just to bring those areas forward and to brighten them up. If you ever want to conceal texture, I really recommend using a primer to smooth over the texture so that your foundation lays seamlessly and flawlessly. over your face. Now we're done with part 1 of the Fenty face. Rihanna designed it so that it's super easy to layer. Our next step is to add color and definition to Sierra's face. Now I'm gonna go in with Matchsticks Matte. And a really cool tip that I like to do before actually applying it on the face, and something that Rihanna actually does now too when she does it on herself. She actually mentioned to me one day, she said, I learned that from you. I learned that from your video, warming it up on the back of the hand. It works like a charm. I'm gonna take the matchsticks and I'm going to warm it up, and it's gonna get like this creamy texture instantly. And then once it's warmed up, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna apply it wherever I need to. So I usually do right where the cheekbones indent, and then just to give her face some overall warmth, I'm gonna do the entire hairline area. Now, however much smaller you want the forehead to look is however far down you're gonna go with your contour here. I don't really wanna do too much manipulation on the forehead. I really just wanna give her warmth. So I'm gonna stay pretty close to her hairline. And again, right where the cheekbones indent. I'm also gonna do underneath the chin and jawline, and you're gonna see how the matchstick just glides on the skin. I'm also gonna do the sides of the bridge of the nose, and I like to do a little bit in here too, just to kind of give some nice little warmth. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and blend it in. So a little tip, I actually go back in with the exact brush that I use for foundation. So I'm gonna go in with the full-bodied foundation brush. This has some foundation residue. I'm not dipping it back into my foundation, but I'm just using whatever's left over on the brush. This helps so that it really blends in to your foundation and looks seamless. It lays right over the foundation, and the great thing about it is that when you're blending it, it's not manipulating the foundation underneath it. Once it's on and it's set, it really locks into place. Now I'm gonna go in with a sponge, the same sponge I used for her foundation earlier, and I'm just gonna kind of blend in this cheek area a little bit. When you're blending, you really wanna make sure the two colors are kind of just morphing into one another so that you get that beautiful blend out. Now I'm gonna go in with Cheeks Out Cream Blush in the color Summertime Wine. I'm gonna go in with the face shaping brush. I'm gonna take a little bit on the brush, and I'm also gonna go in on the back of my hand, kind of just like press first. It distributes the product thoroughly on the brush, and I'm gonna apply it right on the apples of the cheek. And as you see, it's just gonna go on so seamlessly. The brush really helps so that it blends in. It's really going to help so that it diffuses and it almost just melts right into the skin. And just depending on the shape of the face that you're going for, I'm kind of going for this more like youthful look. So I always like to do the apples of the cheek. If I want more structure and I want the face to look really chiseled, I'll focus more on doing the upper parts of the cheekbones. A really cool tip that I like to do, especially with we usually take a little blush and we kind of just press it on the nose. And this just helps to give, again, that really pretty youthful glow. If you ever feel like your blush is looking a little too strong or a little too bright, just go in with your precision sponge, the same one that you use for your foundation, and just kind of like press over, and it just helps to melt the blush and diffuse the color. It almost just makes it look like it's a part of your skin. I love doing this. Now we're gonna add some glow. I'm gonna go in with the Kilowatt and Mean Money Hustla Baby. I'm gonna take the shark tooth brush and I'm gonna dip in to a little bit of both. And I'm just gonna dab on the back of my hand again so that the product gets in thoroughly throughout the bristles of the brush. And this is just gonna fit perfectly on the top of her cheek so that you get that perfect application every single time and looking like you have this shine from within. I'm gonna take whatever's left over on my brush and I'm just gonna take this and go down the bridge of the nose. So now I'm just gonna take that Kilowatt and I'm gonna take it on a precision brush and I'm just going to apply it right on the inner corner of the tear duct just to really help open up and brighten up the eyes. It's something that I always love to do to just give the eyes a little bit of a pop. So now that we're done with step 2 of the Fenty face, we're gonna move on to step 3, which is blotting on the fly. I'm going to go in with Invisimatte blotting powder. So now I'm gonna go in with a portable touch-up brush and I'm gonna take a little bit of that Invisimatte. And again, I always like to just do a safety blot on the back of my hand. I usually like to focus it more so around the nose area. And as you can see, it just instantly takes away the shine while blurring. It's one of Rihanna's favorites, and one of mine too. It doesn't look over powdery and leaves no color on the skin. A little tip, I also like to apply this underneath the eyes. I actually started doing this with Rihanna, and when she saw the way that this looked under the eyes, she said it was a genius move. She loves how it makes the under eyes look blurred and smooth. It won't clog pores, it won't creep up into your smile lines, and it won't disturb your makeup. It extends the wear of your foundation too. Now to give Sierra more coverage, I'm gonna go in with the Pro Filter Powder Foundation. I'm gonna take the sponge that actually comes with the powder. I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna dip it right into the product and kind of give it like a little swirl. And then I'm gonna take that powder and I'm gonna start to apply. And kind of just like press, and it's just gonna give the ultimate coverage. This is crease, humidity, and sweat resistant. It's non-cakey and it won't settle into fine lines. It's actually perfect, especially for summer. It really holds up. It lasts long, and it just gives you a really easy and fast application. A back-to-school tip is that this is perfect for in between your classes. This is the perfect quick solution. Just apply a little bit and you look flawless. The Fenty face is never complete without a little gloss bomb. So I'm going in with the original Fenty Glow shade, which is a universal shade that looks good on all skin tones. I'm gonna take this and I am just gonna start to apply it right on the lips. So a little tip that Rihanna likes to do, she actually takes the color and she puts it on the back of her hand and she'll like dip it in again, and then she'll dip it in again, and then she'll take that's on the back of her hand and she'll just really, just to give like a luscious full application, apply all over the lips. And it just gives you the most juiciest pout. All right, we covered a lot, from shade finding, tips, tricks, Ree's secrets, and even foundation from start to finish. And that's it for this session of Fenty Beauty University. Now you know everything you need to create a A+ Fenty face.